Good morning, family. This is Ricky, and welcome to Hope for Today. You know, one of the things you can be very certain of in life that will never change is that things always change. The one thing that will never change is that things always change. Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. I know in my own life, there's some changes that are happening. We're having to change our parenting to address our children's needs. This whole COVID moment has meant I've had to change some ways of how I do ministry to meet people's needs. Things are always changing. It's the one thing you can be certain of in your life. But I want to encourage you insofar that a lot of times when we realize that things in our lives are changing, it's because something is hard, not often because things are better. Can I get an amen right there? Most new seasons in my life begin with a hardship. Okay? And I know that there are some watching today who are experiencing some disruption, who are experiencing some conflict, because at the end of the day, it may be that God is signaling a change in this relationship, a change in this work environment, a change in this position, a change of location, a change in my relationship. Things are often changing, and those seasons signal themselves with hardship. And I'm here to tell you that often God uses a hardship to get us ready for a hard shift. Sometimes hardships are what God uses to get us to make a hard shift to the change of life that He's authoring in our lives. I remember in a church business meeting, like literally 20 years ago, and there's this sweet lady that I just loved, who loved me. And I'm just telling you, she acted a fool that night, was blessing me out, had stuff to say, and it just broke my heart. I'll never forget talking to my boy Albert, and he says, "Reverend, the winds are shifting." Because that signaled what God had been kind of secretly communicating to me, that He was about to give a change in my ministry, and He was going to call me to move to Memphis, Tennessee. And my point is this: be encouraged when God gives you the hardships, because often He uses hardships to prepare you for the hardships, to embrace change. But at the end of the day, you're saying, Ricky, there's still some changes going on. There's changes in dynamics. There's changes in health. There's changes with my relationships. What does God call me to do? Well, God calls you to hold on to His unchanging hand. And the way we do that is do three things. Number one, hold on to worship. Don't discount the presence of the Lord, because the good news is that even though everything around you is changing, God ain't. Hold on to worship and God's presence. Secondly, hold on to waiting. And my point is this: when you're in a new season, it often means you're in a waiting season. You're waiting for things to settle. You're waiting to figure out what the new rhythms are, who the new contacts are, what the skill sets needed in this season. But don't forget, you can't figure it all out today. There's a waiting season while you wait on the Lord to forge a path ahead for you. Don't forget to wait. You can't figure everything out today. You need to hold on to worship, hold on to waiting, but lastly, hold on to witnessing. And my point is this: when God's calling you to a new season, you're still in the old season, and He calls you to be effective and be salt and be light, and not use the fact that God is changing things as a license to stop doing the things He's called you to do and finish up in the current season you are in. Worship, waiting, and witnessing are key ingredients to navigate change in our lives. That's hope for today. I'll see you next time.